Located just north of the city of Toronto is the town of Markham, home to just over 300,000 residents and one of the founding teams in the Canadian Women's Hockey League. Just over a year ago, they made the move from Brampton to their new home here in the Thornhill Community Centre. After a slow start to the season, the New Look Thunder found their identity. With a perfect regulation record in their final 16 games of the season, they entered the playoffs with the league's fourth and final seed. A tough task was waiting in Lake Canadienne de Montréal, but this tenacious lineup took care of the regular season champs in 2 straight games, punching their ticket to the Clarkson Cup final. Waiting for them there was the Kunlun Red Star, one of the Chinese expansion franchises who brought the league's total up to 7. 60 minutes at the Coliseum wasn't enough to find a winner, and the teams battled their way into overtime, all tied at once. Then, with 2:11 left on the clock, Nicole Costa set up Olympian Laura Stacey, who blasted a one-timer into the back of the net, securing the Thunder's first title. Tonight, another New Look franchise is in town, looking to start fresh with a brand new name. After a 1-win season, the Boston Blades packed up and moved to Worcester, ready for some magic of their own. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam Jenkins here from the Thornhill Community Center, joined by Liam Rowe as we get set to meet the Markham Thunder. As the two teams get set to take the ice, Liam, I want to welcome you into the broadcast. A very exciting 2017-18 season for Markham here in front of a nearly sold-out Thornhill Community Center. They're ready to get going and chase for that elusive back-to-back title.
Yeah, definitely, Adam. The crowd's already looking like they're buzzing quite well out there. We got the kids out there with the green, the lights there. It's sure set to be a good game. Markham looks quite well with several returning players in the lineup. And equally as well with Worcester there, who is returning several players as well.
Markham, as I mentioned, one of the league's charter clubs, made it almost all the way a number of times, but it took the magic of this special Markham team, rallied around by a new home, to lead them to the Clarkson Cup title.
And here we have the player introductions for the Markham Thunder. The appointed captain for the Markham Thunder, Jocelyn Rock there.
Two-time Olympian, 2014 Olympic champion, 2018 Olympic silver medalist, the pride of Minnesota Duluth, class of 2011. And the voice you may hear echoing around the community center is Don Simmons, the PA announcer and statistician, who is in his 10th season with the Thunder. He's seen it all from the bottom of the barrel to where they are now, on top of the league. Another Olympian, Laura Fortino, just got welcomed to the ice.
And 3-time All-Star, I should mention as well. Laura Fortino is a grizzled veteran in the CWHL, and she sure carries a lot of experience on the back end for the Thunder.
Gina Rapace just getting called onto the ice. One of the many rookies on this roster. Sister Sabrina plays for Rensselaer in the NCAA. Gina went to Vermont, class of 2016 there, where she was the captain in her final season.
And Gina comes from a hockey family. Both her brothers played Tier 2 Junior A, so she definitely grew up in a hockey household, so she knows what she's doing.
Next onto the ice is one of the American imports on this roster, Megan Bozek.
The one and only American import on the roster for the Thunder this season. Megan herself is also a former Olympian with Team USA, winning silver in 2014 in Sochi.
Speaking of Olympians, Laura Stacey called it onto the ice, the aforementioned overtime winner, something of a folk hero here after securing the Clarkson Cup for her Thunder.
Yeah, and Laura Stacey will be weighed on heavily from this Thunder team this year and produce some points. She's got the experience, she knows what she's doing out on the ice, and she's going to be heavily counted on, as well as players like Jamie Lee Ratway, who's going to be introduced coming up.
A pair of rookies being introduced. Now Victoria Bach and Ailish Forfar, Markham's 2 pre-draft signees. They entered the team as two of the younger players on the roster, but showing what they did at Boston University for Victoria Bach and Ailish Forfar, the 2018 Marion Hillard Award winner for U Sports Hockey. They bring a lot of things to this roster: speed, smarts, and they're looking to make an impact in their very first game in pro hockey.
Absolutely, and Forfar definitely knows how to put the puck in the net. Drafted 9th overall in this past CWHL draft. Expect for her to make a big impact in her first season in the league.
Taylor Woods gets the call now, coming out to stick taps and ovations. The Brampton's 23rd pick in the 2016 CWHL draft.
And there's Jamie Lee Rattray, honestly, one of the top premier players in this league. And you know what, if I'm speaking honestly here, she hasn't been part of the Team Canada Olympic team, and she definitely should have been last year.
Receiving a well-deserved ovation from the Markham faithful. And there's Nicole Costa. She set up the overtime winner that brought the Clarkson Cup back to Markham. She had 2 goals, 6 assists in 12 games played last year. And for the very first time under their new name, the Worcester Blades take the ice. And Liam, a fresh roster for the Blades, losing 12 players, 10 rookies taking the ice tonight. What can we expect out of such a young team in professional hockey?
You know what? I don't want to say not a whole lot, but this is a young lineup, and they are very inexperienced. One key to the game for this Worcester team is to definitely play a positionally sound game. Like you said, a lot of new faces coming in, so they really need to focus on what they're doing out there and listening to coach and making sure they're playing good, sound, fundamental hockey, because there's definitely going to be hiccups. It's the first game of the season for the team, so they definitely just need to work on the structurally sound game, and they'll be just fine.
The starting lineup being announced for the Markham Thunder. Getting the starting goal tonight is Erica House. She played each and every game of the 2018 Clarkson Cup playoffs, recording an impressive .89 goals against average. That's the kind of backstopping that's going to win you a championship.
Absolutely. She's her fifth season in the league, and she's a 2-time All-Star. She knows what she's doing. She's been around for a while, and expect for her to have another spectacular season like she had last year.
Rounding out the starting lineup for the Thunder tonight is the captain, Jocelyn Larocque. She'll be paired with Megan Bozek on defense, Jamie Lee Rattray, Kristen Richards, and the rookie Victoria Bach, also starting for the green, white, and black. And at this time, a very special moment for the Markham Thunder franchise as the players watch the banner raised to the rafters here at the Thornhill Community Center. And Liam, this is certainly a big moment for the players who battled to win the banner last season, but this also has to be motivation for the players new to the team as well, watching their teammates go through such a monumental occasion.
Absolutely. It can be a pressure-filled season for the new players coming in, especially coming off of a championship season last year for the Thunder. But you know what? It's a family bond. Everyone's there to push each other. Everyone's there to make each other happy. And at the end of the day, they just want to repeat and win that Clarkson Cup again this season.
Some dignitaries and alumni taking to the ice now, lining up at center ice near the Clarkson Cup trophy. Mayor Scarpitti, the mayor of Markham, one of the many dignitaries in attendance tonight. He has been a huge supporter of this Thunder team, really rallying the community around this franchise.
And you know what, the community deserves it, honestly. Especially with that move from Brampton, as you mentioned earlier. Sorry, it's a packed crowd here. It's going to be quite rowdy tonight. They're here to cheer and they're here to win.
And later in the broadcast, Liam, we expect to be joined by interim commissioner Jana Hefford.
Yep, Jana Hefford. What can we say about her? Jana pretty much has almost every record in the CWHL. She's an Olympian, world-class player, recently inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Just can't say enough good things about her. She's a true pioneer of women's hockey and a really good representation of the league.
Hefford just joined the crew at center ice. She is on the far left of your camera. And outgoing commissioner joined them on ice as well. And everyone really just getting thunderous applause from both teams. And that just really shows the respect level they have for the pioneers of this sport, really trying to grow the game, doing everything they can. We know that it's a young league in its infancy. They got a long way to go, but with the mentorship and the guidance that we're seeing on the ice right now, the only place they can go is up.
Absolutely, and like you said, you just mentioned the former commissioner there, Brenda. Huge kudos to her and everything she did over the course of her tenure as the CWHL commissioner. She helped grow the league substantially, and I'm sure she'll still stay involved in some way or another.
And some of the last players to join the crew at center ice, some Thunder alumni, Jessica Hartwick, Melissa Ronsberg, a pair of former Ryerson Rams, passing the Ryerson Rams torch off to Ailish Forfar this season.
And speaking of alumni, Jana Hefford herself played for the Brampton Thunder prior to them moving over to Markham, so she has a connection with this team as well.
A great trivia question would be more, what records does Jana Hefford not have? She is all over the record books, not just in the league, but also for the Markham Thunder.
Absolutely, and internationally as well. She's just been a real helper in the growing of women's hockey in Canada and around the world, honestly. She's just a true great person.
Jana Hefford, a native of Kingston, Ontario, but one of the few times I get to say a fellow Trenton, Ontario native joining me here tonight.
And she's actually one of 7 members from people from the Kingston community who have been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame.
And we'll turn things over to Mayor Scarpitti for some opening remarks.
Because as much as we celebrated
So with that, the opening festivities are in the books. And as the Clarkson Cup Championship banner rose to the rafters right in front of the broadcast booth, we are very excited to get that much closer to dropping the puck on the 2018-19 Markham Thunder and Worcester Blades seasons.
Absolutely, but you know what? One of the hardest things in hockey is getting right into action after a long ceremony like that. But if I'm a Thunder player, I can't help but be extra fired up for that one with the banner raising.
So GM Chelsea Purcell carries off the cup, and I'm sure she's hoping it's not the last time that she'll start a season with that in her grasps. Earlier we met the starting lineup for the Markham Thunder. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Worcester Blades. Starting in net tonight, the rookie number 30 tonight, Mariah Fujimagari. Lauren Williams, Megan Greaves, Taryn Harris, Megan Turner, and Morgan Turner round out the starting five for the Blades. And once again, for the Markham Thunder, Erica Howe gets the start in goal, the 2014 NCAA champion with the Clarkson Golden Knights. The defense tonight led by Captain Jocelyn Larocque, Megan Bozek, and the forwards Kristen Richards, Victoria Bach, and the assistant captain Jamie Lee Rattray.
And expect for Worcester Blades goaltender Maria Fujimori to have a big game tonight, as she is a Markham, Ontario native, and I'm sure she's got several fans and friends and family in the crowd tonight.
Referees for this evening, Allison Madar and Carrie Rumble, and working the lines, Renee St. Louis and Kathleen McCarthy. And while that was such a fantastic ceremony, as we had the players getting ready, getting the helmets back on, making some last-minute equipment adjustments, Liam, if you're a player on the ice watching that ceremony, that's a long time to be standing. Can we expect a little bit of rust to start the game, or do you think they're going to come out of the gates flying?
You know what? If you're a Markham player, like I said, they should be coming out of the gate flying. It can be a little bit hard to stand around and practically do nothing for that opening ceremony, but with the banner raising, you can't help but psych yourself up. If I'm a Thunder player today, I'm definitely ready to go right from puck drop.
And certainly an exciting day for the Blades. They've bounced around Boston for several seasons. They had a historic run as Clarkson Cup champions in their own right. But last season, as we mentioned, just the one win. Haven't won a game in a very, very, very long time. In fact, it's been 280 days since their last win when they took down the Toronto Furies 4-2 on the 6th of January, so they are long overdue for a victory.
Yep, and you mentioned the Boston Blades Clarkson Cup champion in 2015. The Worcester Blades actually have one remaining player from that team, and that is Megan Myers, and we are getting ready for puck drop.
And the face-off is won by Worcester, but immediately picked up by Nicole Brown. She carries it into the Worcester zone. Worcester picks the puck up behind the net, trying to bank it off the boards. Unable to receive it is Megan Graves, and back come the Thunder. Battle for the puck. Brown's able to whack it over to Jones. And it's flipped out of the zone, but it's going to be picked up by Laura Fortino. Goes for a little skate down the center of the ice. She loses it, and it's picked up by Morgan Turner, one of the rookies on this Worcester Blades roster. Plenty of space on the right-hand side, and that's exactly where Markham puts the puck as Nicole Brown dumps it into the corner and goes down for a change. Goldberg turns it over, now with Richards. She leaves it for Victoria Bach, the rookie, looking for her first goal, but she fans on the shot. Jocelyn Larocque steps up from the blue line and forces the possession to stay with Markham. The captain skates it in, makes the blue line. Leaves it for Jamie Lee Rattray. Rattray makes a nice move, keeps the puck on her off wing, puts the puck towards goal, and it's deflected wide. Chelsea Goldberg skates it out, and Jennifer McCaskill dumps it in. Worcester gets a much-needed change. Here come the Thunder once again. It's a 2-on-1. Toe drag shot, and it's just cleared off the line by Megan Myers. Battle along the half wall. Gina Rapace just can't keep it in. Onto the stick of Kristen Barbera. Rapace gets it back once again. Lead pass for Laura Stacey. The Markham Thunder here. Does she have some more magic left in her? Cleared away on the goal line by Courtney Turner. Turner, the Blades' #1 draft pick from the 2017 CWHL entry draft. She had 6 points last season, 3 goals to go along with 3 assists. And a very quiet start to the game for Erica Howe. Very tough for goaltenders to stay loose when it's been this long without any sort of chance towards goal.
Yeah, absolutely, but I'm pretty sure she's happy with it. The fact that Markham has pretty much been controlling the entire play just a few shifts into this game. They seem to be playing a nice dump and chase system here, which is leaving the Worcester Blades D on their feet. And it can be very challenging at times with forwards barreling in on you like that.
Pathopoulos loses the draw to Forfar, who sends it back to the defense, and is picked up by her former Dartmouth Big Green teammate Laura Stacey. The two were very close, and I'm excited to see what kind of chemistry they can come up with on the ice. Taylor Woods flips it ahead. It's a race for the puck, but Stacey decides against it and goes off for a change. So the Thunder fourth line now all together on the ice as Laura Fortino gets possession right back. She slides it over. Dania Simmons, and a record-breaking night for Dania Simmons, her 149th consecutive regular season game. That is a new league record. Well, congratulations to Dania Simon. That's an Iron Woman streak if I've ever seen one.
Oh, absolutely. That's just incredible. And you know what? She's been doing it for quite a while. This is her 7th season in the league, so expect a big season out of her this year as she's gearing up to go on another Clarkson Cup run with the Markham Thunder.
Face-off one back by the Thunder. Fortino slides over for Anderson. Shot is blocked in front by Megan Turner, and Worcester sends it ahead. Icing waved off. Sent back around the net. Simmons wasn't expecting it, and she flips it back. Just a little bit of miscommunication on the ice right now for the Thunder defenders. Centering pass, but no one in front, and Brown's able to get there and hit the reset button for Markham. Jones gets the puck at the blue line, flips it ahead. Then she'll start the forecheck as Morgan Turner comes around goal. Thunder with a complete line change, lead the charge. Megan Bozek still in control. She wraps around goal. Bozek still leaves it. Shot on goal is high and wide from Nicole Brown. Back come the Blades. Chelsea Goldberg flips it ahead, and McCaskill will chase as Howe comes up to play the puck. Anderson now for the Blades in a battle with Larocque. Puck ends up right underneath the trapper of Howe, and she frees it as we have a bit of a scuffle after the whistle. And both these teams, Liam, very capable of playing a rough style of hockey.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? A quick note on Erica Howe there. She looks really comfortable in the net there. She's getting out and she's playing the puck and she's communicating with her D. That's extremely well to see so early on in the season, with it being the first game.
Erica Howe, 5'9" out of Ottawa, Ontario. She's looked sharp so far. Hasn't needed to be tested often, but when she has been, she's been ready to go. Jamie Lee Rattray tries to hold the blue line. Couldn't quite dig it enough, and it's offside for the Thunder.
And you know what? That's her game. She's just a speedy winger. She's going to rush the puck and take advantage of all the opportunities she can. A little bit of a misread there, but you know what? If she was just 1 second slower, that could have easily been a goal for the Thunder there.
Just under 5 minutes gone here in the first period from the Thornhill Community Center in Markham, Ontario. This is CWHL Live. Here come the Blades, led by Sperling. Shot is deflected, and the face-off will stay in the Thunder zone.
Pretty fast tempo game here to start off this season here. Both teams doing a little bit of back and forth action, and that's great to see. Obviously, all the players on both these teams put in a substantial amount of training in the offseason.
Stacy tries to jump the gun and sneak the puck out, but she overskates it and it stays with Worcester. Cycled along the boards, but it's picked up by the Thunder. Matucci now. McParlin comes back in to offer some support. Toe drags a risky play in front of goal, but she gets away with it. And here come the Thunder with numbers. Poked ahead, it's Matucci. Wrapped around behind goal. And Matucci gets it back in front of the blue line, and she flips it ahead, and Markham goes off for a change. Tina Brown spins around, has a lot to deal with, and Laura Stacy, who knocks her to the ice but can't come up with the puck. Aaron Hall goes off the half wall. Again, Worcester trying to stick handle out of the zone, and again it's back on the stick of the Thunder. Backhand shot on goal from McParlin, and it's blockered away.
And that's just a bad turnover there by Rebecca Fleming. Almost at the blue line, just clear the zone there.
And we have the first penalty of the night coming up, a body checking call. And that's going to be Brown heading to the box for 2 minutes or less.
And here we have a replay of the hit here. Nicole Brown is going to go sit for 2 minutes there. This Markham Thunder power play is actually quite lethal. We see players out there like Koska and Stacy, and it's just a powerhouse of a team. Fortino on the point. Lots of firepower here.
Fortino gets it. Leaves it for Barbera. Fortino again. Slap shot on goal, deflected, and it goes wide of the net. Fleming just able to clear as Barbera tried to hold the line. And Stacey skates out to center to reset this Markham power play.
A little rocky to start, another offside there, but you know what? The Markham Thunder actually had the worst power play in the CWHL last year with an average of 13%. But to counter that, they actually had the best penalty kill at 89%. So let's see if Coach Jim Jackson will turn it around this year for them and help them execute a little bit more on the PP.
And this is a good opportunity, too, against the Blades team that was also bottom of the league in the penalty kill. Rock takes it herself once again, goes over for Jamie Lee Rattray. Rattray sets up, tries to go between the wickets. But Worcester's able to get a skate on it. Not enough to retain possession, though. Victoria Bach now makes a nice move to the center of the ice. Victoria Bach toe drags Victoria Bach, backhand, and she scores. Welcome to the CWHL, Victoria Bach. And the Thunder are on the board for the first time in 2018-19.
And that's just a great goal for the third overall pick here in the 2018 draft there. Beautiful play, well executed, nice toe drag into the middle, and she makes no mistake about it. That is her first of the season.
The Boston University graduate finished with the most points and most goals in a single season last year for the Terriers. Many, I'm sure, that looked just like that, showing off her fantastic hands. She had 39 goals in 33 games played last year in Boston. She was just a fantastic player, and clearly she's able to translate that to the CWHL already. So the power play was a good one for the Thunder, but looking to add another one back on even strength. Barbera drops it for Rapace, sends it ahead towards Webster. Puck is loose and is finally picked up by Nicole Anderson. Anderson's backhander is wide of the goal, and the Thunder will try to break out. Ahead off the stick of Stacey, and Worcester gets ready to go. Brooke Webster takes some contact, knocked off the puck. Referees will let them play on, and here come the Blades, led by Nicole Anderson. Harris now, the shot is blocked by Larocque and sent into the corner. Simmons behind the net now, rims it along the boards. Worcester's able to keep it in momentarily, but they flip it out of bounds.
And, you know, that play by Brooke Webster there, she just has to get the puck in deep there. You can't be screwing around with it at the blue line when your partners are already in the O-zone. You know what, that could have easily been gone the other way and ended up in a goal against for the Thunder there. So just keep it simple, stupid hockey here, and play a well-system game.
Another face-off won by Forfar. She's won 2 tonight already. And this isn't your traditional fourth line, Liam. It's a very skilled fourth line. And all three forwards can really shoot the puck.
Absolutely, and you know what? That's just the way the game's going now. There really isn't a first, second, third line. More teams are gearing towards just having three solid lines that can score on any given shift.
Rock brings it around the net, but resets it to Simmons. She goes ahead for King. King knocks it off the pads of the Blades, and then Forfar is able to play it ahead. Taylor Woods chases. More aggressive forechecking from the Thunder, as their fourth line unit goes off for a change, and Laura Fortino will start things off for Markham. Fortino lead pass looking for Jess Jones. Nearly had her too, would have been a fantastic entry to the zone as Jones centers it. Costa just can't get a stick on it, and it's led by Giannino. Defended well by Fortino as Matucci gets the puck. Holds it along the boards, but Worcester on the forecheck gets it right back. Centering attempt is deflected. They get it right back. A shot that's tipped by Giannino, but wide of the goal. Again, a lead pass. This time it does get to Brown. Brown centers it, and a fantastic job by the other Brown on the ice to knock it away. As we near the midway mark of the first period, Markham 1, Worcester none. On a fantastic goal from Victoria Bach as that shot goes high and wide from Kristen Barbera. Blades pinned in their own end, finally able to get it out. But Rebecca Fleming couldn't handle the breakout pass, and it'll give Markham one more shot. Markham with some chance on a Worcester change. Brown gets bodied off the puck to discard that scoring chance, but it's loose in front. A couple whacks, still loose outside the blue paint, and Bach thinks she has her second goal, but it's waved off by the official. The referee was right behind the net, immediately waved the call off. Victoria Bach had her hands in the air lane. She thought she scored.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? That was fantastic work by Jess Jones down low after a missed shot there by Kristen Barbera. She was an absolute workhorse that shift, and if that actually went in, she would have definitely played a big role in that. You know what? I see her having a big role in this Markham Thunder team throughout the rest of the season as well.
So with the face-off coming outside of the Worcester end, I'm inclined to think that it was waved off for goaltender interference, as it looked like Nicole Brown just might have gotten into Fujimagari there. So the score stays 1-0. But Bach already making an impact for this Markham Thunder. She is fast, she is deceitful, but Worcester has a 3-on-1. Shot deflected, first save, great chance on the rebound, but they can't convert. Megan Turner's going to want to have that one back. She had a wide open net on the forehand, but couldn't find the back of the net.
You know what? That was just a bad turnover there by Jocelyn the Rock there. You can't be having those kind of mistakes in the neutral zone like that.
Bach skates it in down the left side. Centers the puck looking for Richards, doesn't get there. Bozek throws a cannon on goal, but it's blocked. Bozek gets it right back, skates to the center of the ice. Thought about another slap shot, elects to keep it. Goes to LaRock. Jamie Lee Rattray with a shot on goal, and it's smothered up into the chest of Mariah Fujimagari.
Yeah, and it seems like this Thunder offense is really just trying to keep the puck around the perimeter and wait for that perfect shot to generate on net there. And that was a prime goal-scoring chance there by the Thunder, and it was just a beautiful save by Fujimagari there.
And Fujimagari spent the last season in Slovakia playing with SKP Bratislava. She was 13-1 with a sub-1 goals against average and a .943 save percentage, so she knows a thing or two about stopping pucks.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a product of the University of Maine Black Bears as well, and she put up quite well numbers there over the course of her season there in the NCAA.
Puck played with the high stick, so the faceoff will come outside the Blades zone, just in front of the Blades bench. Worcester in white attacking from your left to your right. Markham Thunder and their home greens, a beautiful jersey combination, if I do say so myself.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
Another chance for the Thunder. Webster with a wrist shot on goal, and Fujimagari once again there to send it away.
She better get used to feeling that rubber tonight, because the Thunder are certainly hemming her with shots. Here we have Webster going in for another draw. The Blades seem to be taking advantage of the Thunder on the draw tonight, and you know what? There's another win for the Blades.
It's Megan Sperling behind net. But once again, Markham with a relentless forecheck, really making Sperling work for it.
And Sperling, who's also playing alongside her sister, Caitlin Sperling, number 16 for the Blades.
Yeah, we should clarify Megan wearing number 20 tonight. And speaking of players who played, or spent some time in Europe, I should say, Caitlin Sperling played in Austria with the EHB Sabres Wien for 3 seasons. Also a field hockey goalie, not taking the goalie to the ice, but rather playing out and about. As Forfar comes back onto the ice. She can't win this face-off, though. And McCaskill sends it around the boards. Barbera behind the net. Takes it up the middle, splits the Worcester forecheck. They turn it over before they can clear the zone as McCaskill sends it down for Myers. Centering pass in front and kicked away by Howe.
And that was a big scoring opportunity there for the Blades, but Nicole Anderson just couldn't bury it.
Aaron Hall now for the Blades as they make center. And Courtney Turner just can't hold the blue line.
She is visibly frustrated about that. Courtney Turner, the first overall pick by the Blades in the 2017 CWHL draft, trying to piece together an excellent season in her sophomore campaign.
So the officials moving the face-off to in front of the Blades bench. 7:51 to play in the first period. Markham leading 1-0. Costa wins that face-off back to Bozek. Bozek skates it in, sends it around the boards, and she'll chase it herself. Taryn Harris sends it around the boards as Worcester tries to work out of the zone methodically. And they'll get another chance to do so right here. Jones with a nice cut to the middle, picked up by Costa. Worcester finally able to clear the zone. But this Markham Thunder forecheck has not made that easy for them in the first period.
Absolutely not. And you know what? They're just a good, fast, skilled team who presses a lot. And we'll be able to see that go on throughout the rest of the season as we have another penalty coming to the Blades, and it's going to Casey Stathopoulos for what appears to be tripping.
Bozek with a shot on goal, blocked by Caitlin Sterling, and she's able to touch it up as she is in some clear discomfort as Casey Stathopoulos gets the call for hooking. So Markham, who scored on their first power play opportunity of the night, is looking to double their lead on their second attempt as the officials clean up the face-off along the hash marks. Very particular about the face-offs. Wanting to get things just right as they finally drop the puck. And finally, Worcester's able to pin it along the boards, but Markham had to knock them off the puck. Too high on the forecheck as Worcester's battling along the boards, and they turn it over. Bozek over to Larocque. Jocelyn Larocque back to Bozek. Megan Bozek passes it over to Bach. Bach setting for Rattray, backhander. Loose puck, and it's picked back up by the Thunder. Rattray skated over, but she gets it right back. Kristen Richards now in the corner. Richards cuts back to the front of the ice. And the Bucks work back to Larocque with the wrist shot. Blocked by the Blades, and they're finally able to clear, and Larocque tips it out over the boards. They'll get a whistle.
And that was just a well-executed power play there by the Thunder. Lots of puck movement, lots of transitions among the players there, and they really generated some good scoring opportunities there. They had the Blades defenders running around in circles there as we get set for another face-off here.
So we'll finally get to see what the Thunder's other power play unit can do. D to D and speed ahead by Barbera. Fortino, around the corner. Centering pass. Stopped but kept by the Thunder. Barbera. She gets it right back at the top of the ice. Leaves it for Fortino. She can keep it in. She can. Head to Stacy. Olympian to Olympian as Fortino gets it right back. Puts a wrister on goal. Deflected by Jones, but well wide of the cage.
And that's one thing the Thunder are doing quite well in this power play, is getting lots of traffic in front of the net for their D to just do a nice, low, quick, soft pass or shot, on the net and generate some scoring opportunities. And here we have another one there.
Blockered away by Fujimagari, but Markham continued to look dangerous. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Cross ice, centering pass for Jones. Nearly got a stick on it, and Worcester finally able to clear. And ahead on the forecheck is McCaskill.
Almost the Blades to get a change there. That was a beautiful backdoor pass there.
Turner gets it along the board. She's hauled down. And the arm from the official goes up right away. So that will be the end of the Thunder power play.
We go from one power play to another. And now we get to see what the Blades will look like with the man advantage. As we have Kristen Barbera go to the box for hooking.
And one of the unique features of the Thornhill Community Center is the exposed penalty boxes. You don't see too many of those anymore. So the first power play of the night for the Blades, not off to a great start as the Thunder win a key defensive faceoff and clear. Eilish Forfar gives chase as Fujimagari goes behind the net. And Worcester playing a little bit scrambled. Not a fantastic start to the power play, as Webster forces a turnover. She has Forfar in front. Webster to Forfar, shoots! And she's turned away by Fujimagari. Almost the second goal from a pre-draft signee. They've really made an impact tonight, haven't they, Liam?
Yeah, absolutely. And Webster did a fantastic job at causing the turnover behind the net there. She's just a great speedy forward and really just left the Blades with no other option there. And we're going to see the other power play unit come out for the Blades here. And we'll see King, Larock, Bozak, and Woods out there for the Thunder, killing the rest of this penalty here.
The Blades skating out of their own end, led by McCaskill. Takes a few whacks from King and throws it towards the back of the net. Howe had to be sharp as that puck bounced right towards the blue paint. Taylor Woods plays it ahead, and the forecheck continues for Markham. They have been a nightmare for the Blades as they're content to just hang on to the puck along the boards and kill some time as we approach the 1 minute mark of the first power play of the game for the Blades. Under 4 to play in the first period. Markham 1, Worcester none in the opening game of the 2018-19 CWHL season, as Howe confidently smothers that one up.
And that was just a great job by King there, holding the puck in the Blade zone there. She really took some time off the clock. And now we have a face-off in the Thunder zone. And we'll see Webster come out and finish off the kill for this penalty. And we have Stathopoulos being kicked out of the face-off for the Blades. And we'll see Giannino come in for the face-off.
And it's won by the Blades, and they send it around, and it takes an odd carom off the stanchion, and that's going to work out for Markham. Brooke Webster into the corner again. Sends it back to Fortino, who's able to keep the puck alive at the blue line. Makes a couple of moves and sends it down low for Jamie Lee Rattray. She tries to go back to Fortino, but it's just behind the blue line, so the Thunder will reset. Happy to kill off some more time of this very uneventful first power play of the game for Worcester.
Absolutely, and you know what? That's such great patience for the Thunder rather, on this penalty kill unit, and that's why they were the best in the 2017-2018 campaign in the penalty kill.
Rattray nearly steals the puck, but Stathopoulos continues ahead as Rebecca Fleming puts a shot on goal, or at least intends to. Larock again blocking shots. She really puts her body on the line, doesn't care that it's the first game of the season.
And we are back to 5-on-5 hockey.
Larock again for the Thunder. She has Stacy breaking ahead if she can spot her, and that's exactly what she does. Picks it up on the backhand, keeps it, forehand, backhand, and it's just wide of the post. A fantastic opportunity for Laura Stacy. Worcester trying to clear with 2.5 to play in the first period. Flips it high for Turner, but it's too far ahead, and Larock sends it right back up on the ice. McParland, shot on goal deflected. And Stacy's able to keep it in, and she cycles it for Forfar. McParland can't hang on to it, but Worcester's not out of trouble yet, as Markham once again doing a fantastic job on the forecheck to keep Worcester pinned in their own end. Battle along the boards. Worcester's able to pick it up and flick it out. They turn it over, but they get a much-needed change. Some very tired Blades legs on the ice. Brown's back in looking for Costa. Is picked off, and here come the Blades. Myers makes a nice move around Rapace. Myers again, she takes a bit of a hook, but is able to retain possession. Sends it looking for Turner. The backhander's wide of the goal. Jones spins. Tries to find Barbera, but gets it right back herself. Costa at the blue line, able to clear. Kicks it back to her skate. She was looking to find her teammate, but she had her stick tied up. Caitlin Sperling leads the forecheck now for the Blades. Worked back to the point for Kickham. The Blades captain throws a shot on goal, takes a bounce, and it's smothered up by Howe. Not the only game going on tonight across the Canadian Women's Hockey League, as the Canadians and Inferno are playing underway, as we get another great look at that chance for the Blades just a minute ago. But tied up at ones after 40 minutes. Brianne Jenner has the Inferno goal. Jelena has the goal for Montreal as the third period gets underway from Place Belle, who is making their CWHL debut. A fantastic facility, home of the AHL's Laval Rockets as well. Last minute of play in the first period. The Thunder still hanging on to that 1-0 lead. They've dominated possession, but Worcester's looked very good on the counterattack. And it's, speaking of counterattack, here come the Thunder. Rattray leaves it for Bach. Bach backhander over the net. 35 to go as Fortino sends it back around for Rattray. Banks it off the back of the net, keeps it herself, but the backhander can't beat the paddle of Fujimagari. Just under 30 seconds to go. Face off to Fujimagari's right. As the third line gets tapped to try and find one more before heading into the break. Face off tied up. But scooping it up is Giannino, and here comes Worcester. Fleming tries to find Giannino. She gets it there through traffic. But it's deflected back into the corner. Worcester keeps it in along the blue line. Wrist shot on goal is wide of the cage. It bounces back to the slot and it's picked up by Markham. Under 10 seconds to go. Does Markham have any magic left in them in the first period? Stacey's shot is deflected. And that will bring the first 20 minutes to a close. A very good opening 20 for the Markham Thunder. They lead 1-0 over the Worcester Blades at the end of one. It was a fantastic goal from Victoria Bach, who got things started. The rookie making a fantastic impact in her debut as the two teams head to the locker room. And not a ton of changes to be made if you're the Markham Thunder. A very strong opening 20. Jamie Rattray congratulating her players as they head off the ice. We'll go for a quick rest and get set to go for the second 20 minutes of play. And now we'll head downstairs to Liam Rowe, who's standing by with the interim commissioner, Mrs. Jana Hefford.
Thank you very much, Adam. I'm joined by Jana Hefford, the newly appointed interim commissioner of the CWHL. Jana, you spent several years being an all-star on the ice in the CWHL. What is it like to be on the other side of the table in the head office for the CWHL?
Well, there's certainly a lot of challenges on this side of the ice, but after a long playing career, I spent some time coaching, and now for me to be able to have an impact on the game, I think on a greater level, more of a leadership side of the game, is something I'm excited about.
Awesome. And the league has grown tremendously over the course of the last 12 years. What do you bring to the table, and what are you going to bring in to help grow the league further than what it already is at?
Well, I think we're at a point now where we really need to take it to the next level, and the league has grown in great strides over the last few years, but this is a pivotal year for us. We have more talent than we've ever had in this league. It's the beginning of a quadrennial, so we have all of our Olympic players for the next 3 years, and it's a time, I think, for us to step up and really show everyone where we think the state of women's hockey's at.
Absolutely, and let's not forget, you were recently inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. What is it like to be honored with such a great recipient, or receive such a great honor and sit with so many pioneers of hockey?
Yeah, it's been really humbling, and it's you don't think about that when you play the game. You think about winning championships and different things, but you never really think about the Hall of Fame. So since that's happened, it's just it's helped me reflect a lot on everyone that was a part of my journey, and it's much bigger than just me. It's about the idea of being given the opportunity and the idea of having a passion and following your dream, and it's just a huge honor, and it's one that I'm really looking forward to.
Awesome. Well, I know I'm looking forward to November 12th when the ceremony happens. Thank you so much for joining us, Jana. Stay tuned for more CWHL live action coming up next. back with Victoria Bach, the lone goal scorer for the Markham Thunder in the first period. Victoria, it's your first season in the CWHL after being drafted 3rd overall in the 2018 draft. What is it like being part of the Markham Thunder organization?
Yeah, obviously today, coming to the rink and seeing all the fans and being part of such a great league and a great team. Obviously, they're coming off a huge season, a big win for them. So just being able to, kind of share that with them. I'm super excited. We have a great group of girls here, and I'm just excited to get things going.
Wonderful. And you know what? You had quite the terrific goal out there. Take us through. What did you see going down the ice there before you potted that one?
Yeah, it was the great pass by Rattray. She saw me cutting across with speed and hit me before the blue line, and I ended up just, seeing some space, made a couple moves, and took it backhand and ended up trickling in. So.
Alrighty, and one frame in, 2 more to go in the rest of this game. What does this team have to do to hold off the new Worcester Blades?
I think, this is our first game, kind of, the first period getting our nerves out, and I think, moving forward here, we just got to keep skating hard, skating fast, getting pucks in deep, and, just keep playing our game.
There you go. There you have it. Victoria Bach, the lone goal scorer for the Markham Thunder. Stay tuned as we have more CWHL live action coming up next.
Than you think. Scotiabank.
Welcome back to the Thornhill Community Centre in Markham, Ontario for CWHL live action. Here is the Markham Thunder are up 1-0 over the Worcester Blades after 20 minutes of play. Adam Jenkins and Liam Rowe here with you. And the story of the game so far has to be the offense of the Markham Thunder out-shooting Worcester 15-8 in the first period.
And you know what, I'm not surprised at all. Like I mentioned, the Thunder are a very fast, highly skilled team, and they move the puck really well. They do a good job at keeping the puck out around the perimeter, and you know what, this Blades defense can't contain them.
We had the chance to speak to Jana Hefford out of the first period, Victoria Bach as well. She's been the first star for the Markham Thunder so far, no question about it. But who else has impressed you so far for Markham?
You know what, definitely Forfar. She's having a very good game as well for a rookie who's drafted 9th overall in this past draft. You know what, I expect a terrific season out of her if she keeps it up. Sorry, if she keeps it up the way she's playing right now. And you know what, Jocelyn LaRock actually, a seasoned veteran, and she's having an absolute heck of a game with a bomb from the point pretty much every time she can. Bozak as well. It's just, I can go on and on and on. This Thunder team is really stacked, and they have some potential to do some serious damage this year in the CWHL.
And a fantastic moment. We're very appreciative for Jana Hefford giving us some of her time as she gets set to join some of the greatest to ever lace up men or women in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And she gets inducted as a player, but at this rate, if she keeps things up here, she may go in twice as a builder.
Absolutely, and you know what, she's going in with some pretty highly known people as well, one being Willie O'Ree and Martin Brodeur, a Hall of Fame goalie, as you know, who played many years in the NHL for the New Jersey Devils as well as the St. Louis Blues. So what a spectacular accomplishment for Jana Hefford, and we hope that she sticks around the league and does a terrific job as commissioner, as I'm sure she will.
And it's so cool to see so many Olympians back, and it's a great year for the CWHL now that we're outside of the Olympic cycle. So the Olympians get to stay with their pro team for the season. I'm sure the teams appreciate that. And while you always love to represent your country, it really adds to the ability to bond as a team, especially one like Worcester going through some changes, or a team like Markham who wants to sustain that championship level of success. And you think back to what was a disappointing finish for the Canadians this year in Pyeongchang, but just so many fantastic moments to recall. You mentioned Jana Hefford, obviously. You can't not remember the game-winning goal she scored in Salt Lake City with 1 second left in the second period. That ended up being the game-winning goal as it took down the Americans in that game. And it's a league that has so much talent. It's really one of the most underrated properties, I think, in North American sports.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, just bringing back these Olympic athletes really helps boost the skill in this league. Not to say the last year wasn't a skilled league either, but you know what? Really expect to see some high-intensity, fast-paced hockey for the rest of the season in the CWHL.
The last time these two franchises met up was March 11th at the Larson Skating Rink at the Roussillon Center in Massachusetts. The Thunder went on to win that game 3-1 the final. They also led 1-0 after 20 minutes in that one, so they'll be looking to make it back-to-back wins against the Worcester Blades, although they've had the Boston Blades number for quite some time now, really dominating the last almost 10 meetings, the winners of 8 straight dating back to December 17th, 2006. It's the last time that the Thunder franchise lost to the Blades. That was a 4-3 loss, also on home ice. So really just a fantastic build for the Thunder. I think Chelsea Purcell's done a fantastic job, and clearly the fans and clearly her team's appreciative of all that she's done, as she got a massive ovation in the pregame ceremonies.
Absolutely, and Chelsea Purcell knows what she's doing. She played 3 seasons in the league herself, and you know what? She's been a part of this Thunder organization in a management standpoint for the last 4 seasons, 2 as the assistant and 2 as the general manager. And you know what? Give credit to Jim Jackson as well. He came in last year in his first season, and he took the Thunder and won the Clarkson Cup. He's right out of the UOIT Ridgeback program, where he was the assistant coach there for 2 years. And you know what? He was a former NHLer himself as well. He played 112 games between Calgary and Buffalo, so he brings a certain level of expertise to this already stellar Thunder lineup.
Yeah, Coach Jackson was a Calder Cup champion in 1987 when the Rochester Americans defeated the Sherbrooke Canadians in Game 7. It was a fantastic tidbit of history for Jim Jackson. And as we turn our attention back to the second period, which is just about to get underway, we talked a lot about how dominant Markham was in the first period. What are some of the things, in your opinion, that Worcester has to tighten up in the remaining 40 minutes?
You know what? They just need to do a good job at, reducing the turnovers. They actually do a good job at controlling the puck off the face-off, winning the majority of their draws, but they just need to execute that and get good offensive zone entries and control the puck. They seem to be giving the puck away quite often, and you know what? As we all know, you got to be able to have the puck if you're going to score some goals. So I really hope to see the Blades bear down here and generate some more offense and really give the Thunder a run for their money in this game.
I have to correct myself. It wasn't an overtime win, but it was a 4-2 win in Game 7 for Rochester over Sherbrooke in 87. As we're back underway, Costa wins the faceoff and Jones sends it back to the defense. And Markham going to head to the penalty box immediately. It's Jess Jones, and she's going to get the gate for slashing as she knocked the stick right out of the hands of Megan Greaves.
And she's arguing with the official here, and I don't know why. It was just a sloppy play. You got to control your stick. These women are professional athletes, and you know what? They know what to do and what they can't do. And to me, that was a clear call there on a penalty. And we get to see this Blades power play unit come out for their second try. And hopefully they can generate some offense here as the Thunder win the draw.
Fortino slaps it around the boards. Worcester's able to keep it in. It's picked up by Turner. Turner's shot to the other Turner is tipped. And Matucci is able to win the race to the puck. Her initial clearance attempt is stopped up, so she tries the other side of the ice. But once again, the Blades keep it in.
And the Thunder have been doing a fantastic job at really owning the puck on the penalty kill here. They've done a pretty decent job of controlling the puck along the boards. And you know what? The Blades really aren't taking advantage of the 2-on-1 coverage there, as we see.
It's Costa on the forecheck. Worcester able to clear the zone. It's a 3-on-2 led by Greaves. Greaves stops up, throws a shot on goal off the pad. Second attempt is kicked away by Howe. A fantastic opportunity for Megan Turner to tie this one up.
And what a save by Erica Howe there. Gave it a juicy rebound, but she recovered quite well there, sliding across with her excellent lateral movement.
The Blades get things set up once again. Jennifer McCaskill throws a shot on goal, takes the deflection, and it's picked up by LaRocque as she looks to clear the zone. Bozek picks the puck up for the Thunder. She slaps it around the boards. And it will go the length of the ice as we are down to 35 seconds and the Jessica Jones penalty. Stacy on the forecheck takes it right off the stick of Megan Sperling. And the Blades have to get set up, and this is something we saw a lot of in the first period from Markham, an intense forecheck, and clearly can get under the skin of the Blades when really they should be the ones in control on the power play here.
Absolutely, but when you have a girl like Laura Stacy bearing down on you, she's just a big, strong, powerful forward, and if she has the puck, it's hard to take it off of her, and we've seen that already a lot during this game.
McCaskill skates it in, looping around the end boards. There to clean up the mess in front was Fortino, and here comes Jones out of the box. Jessica Jones, backhand, and she scores! Out of the box, into the back of the net, 2-0 Thunder on a beautiful finish from Jess Jones.
And it doesn't get any better than that, right out of the box for Jess Jones there, who goes down on the breakaway and finishes what is a beauty goal there. Here we have a second look at it with a beautiful pass from Laura Stacy. Jones coming in over the blue line. Clear breakaway, nice little move to the backhand and in between the legs of Fuji Magari there for a beautiful goal by Jess Jones.
And she's able to get that backhand off after taking a pretty nasty slash. We saw the ref's arm go up in the air. It would have been a penalty for the Blades, but Jones converts for her first of the season, and that's one way to get to the doghouse after taking a penalty in the opening seconds of a period.
Yeah, absolutely. She was a little upset with that penalty, but what better way to come out of it than score a goal right away.
And obviously credit where credit is due. A fantastic pass from Stacy to set that one up. And that's exactly the kind of thing that Laura Stacy can bring to your roster.
Absolutely. Just a perfect read there. She knew where she was. And like I said, just a well-executed move by Jess Jones, who...
Worcester clears the zone. But the Thunder are there to take it right back off their tape. That pass from Simmons ahead to King was just off the mark, as she gives chase and pins Worcester back behind the net.
And the Thunder really aren't giving the Blades much time. As soon as the Blades have access to the puck there, they're just being immediately cut off by the defenders from Markham.
Caitlin Sperling flicks it back in and towards goal, but it's wide of the net. And it's a battle for the puck along the boards. The Thunder are the ones that come away with it, but they almost turn it over immediately. And finally able to clear the zone as it finds the stick of Brown. Brown flicks it ahead for Jones. Back on the ice looking for another one. Pass across for Costa, just too high to handle. Costa working on Giannino. Puck squeaks free. And Worcester stick handling out of the zone. And it's back on the tape of Giannino. She makes a nice move. And Jocelyn the Rock seemingly played that well, but she's going to get the gate for body checking.
And again, she skates to the box, shaking her head. For once again, though, it's just an obvious play. You know there's no contact in this league, and she steps up and lays the body, and that's a silly move on her behalf. So we're going to see how this Blades power play unit comes out for the third time this game, with Turner taking the draw.
And what's tough on a play like that is, depending on the official, they may let you get away with it, because while there's no body checking in this league, it's certainly still a contact sport. And you got to wonder if that's just a force of habit of growing up doing that her whole life. But she'll sit for 2 minutes or less as Worcester gets a chance to cut this lead in half. Spinning around is Morgan Turner. She's worked on by Rattray, able to go back behind the net for Greaves. Still with Greaves as she skates it around, tries to find the point. No option, so she centers it instead. And it clears all the bodies, and Markham is able to clear. Victoria Bach on the forecheck. Follows her check around the net as Worcester breaks back out. Turner thought about the slap shot, but Bach does well to get back and break it away.
And the Thunder really have a really good depth team here. You see in the power play and penalty kill, Jamie Lee Rattray plays both. So the fact that this lineup has so many players who are versatile to play both the power play and penalty kill just speaks to how well this organization is and what they can obviously do as a team, obviously winning the 2017 Clarkson Cup.
Goldberg has the puck in the corner. She's being worked on. Still with the Blades. Once again, Rapace pinning her check to the boards. And Markham able to get it across into open space, and it's going to be skated out by Bozek. The defenseman brings it up along the right side. Megan Bozek puts the shot on goal, but she misses behind the net. 20 seconds to go in this Worcester power play as Anderson skates it in. And something I noticed from the practice on Thursday is Laura Stacey is in it alone. Laura Stacey backhand scores! Laura Stacey sets up the second and scores the third herself, and the Thunder are up by 3.
And once again, Laura Stacey being a huge impact player for the Thunder, scoring an absolute beauty of a goal there. She has a goal and assist tonight's game here. We see her again just beating Brown to the puck there and going in all alone, and makes a wonderful move to the backhand again and beats Fujima. And again, just big, powerful forward there, Laura Stacey is. And here we have the Blades controlling the puck off the face-off with a turnover. And
so that's a short-handed goal for Laura Stacey, and it puts the Thunder up by 3. As the puck gets tangled up in the skates of the referee, and that will do it for the power play. So not only was Worcester unable to convert on the power play, they actually let one go as the puck comes flying up towards the broadcast booth.
Thought we were going to have to duck there for a minute there, Adam. Got a little scared.
But just to complete my point I was making before Laura Stacey's breakaway, Liam, as I came to Thunder practice on Thursday, and one of the things I noticed from the defensemen is they are content to leave the opposition to the outside. They give up nothing in the middle, and that makes it a whole lot easier for no matter who's in between the pipes for the Thunder. But really, they will let you skate as much as you want around them, but you can't penetrate the slot.
And it really helps when they have a really veteran D-core who makes an excellent first pass out of the zone. So it leaves the forwards having a little more freedom and being comfortable knowing that they have a solid group on the back end who can make up for mistakes, and you know what, they can maybe cheat a little bit leaving the zone.
It was a nice read there from Matucci, who came down to collect the puck. Worcester came in with a chance, but they weren't able to convert on it. As Courtney Turner gets the puck and she sends it along the boards. Howe comes out to play the puck, but it bounces over her stick, and now it's with Myers. Myers met by Fortino. As the Thunder pin behind their net, Myers gets a shot on goal. Loose puck in the paint. The referee has eyes on it, still loose. Bodies all over the blue paint. And the whistle finally goes as Megan Myers got tangled up there with the Thunder defense, but no one had an eye on it. Certainly not Erica Howe for a few seconds there in the paint.
And that just speaks to her volume of how well the goalie she is. She does a good job at locating that puck and covering it, which could have easily gone the other way, and if a Blade forward had picked that up, could have popped it top shelf there as we get ready for the face-off.
Forfar against Stathopoulos. And it's won back by the Blades. Giannino couldn't get enough of her stick on it, and it falls back for the Thunder defense. Off the boards to King. Bounces through the center of the ice, but Giannino unable to get a stick on it. And it's cleared by Markham. Forfar ahead looking for King. Deflects off a couple of bodies, and King gives chase once again. Kept dingling along the blue line by Woods. Taylor Woods smothered by Giannino. As Forfar goes into the corner to try and pick up the loose puck. Pops out for Rebecca Fleming. One of the many rookies on this Worcester Blades team. Fleming, a graduate of the University of Connecticut in 2015. The Thunder try to clear, but they can't get it out of the zone. Wide open in front was Turner. First chance stopped. Second chance wide of the cage, but it's picked up by Giannino. Centered again, but King was there to send it away. Taylor Woods goes off the boards, bumps into her defender, falls to the ice, but it goes right back to the Thunder. Barbera ahead for Woods. Battle forward at center ice as Sperling flicks it ahead. And we have offside on the ice as Caitlin Sperling didn't hear or just didn't care about the raised arm. And this one might be coming all the way back for the intentional offside.
And as mentioned earlier, the Blades are just dominating the face-off circle here as Turner steps in for another face-off against Victoria Bach, the lone goal scorer for the Markham Thunder. Pardon me, sorry, the first goal scorer for the Markham Thunder in her rookie campaign in Markham here.
Rattray falls to the ice as Greaves tries to stick handle. And Bach has it once again. Victoria Bach, another toe drag. That's how she set up her first goal, but this time it's swatted away by Hall. And here comes Worcester back the other way, led by Christina Brown. Brown ahead for Greaves. Markham gets a stick to it, but they aren't able to clear. Loose in front of the net, and it's finally sent away along the boards. Kristen Richards drops it back, and now back on the stick of Bach. Bach skates it down the left side. Victoria Bach has it knocked away by Chelsea Goldberg. But the Thunder continue to fight for the loose puck along the boards. Megan Bozek. Slap pass over to Rattray. But the Blades are able to take care of that chance. More aggressive forechecking from Markham. Goldberg's able to come away with it this time as we approach the 10-minute mark, the halfway mark of the game, where the Thunder lead 3-0 here on CWHL Live. It's Adam Jenkins and Liam Rowe with you in the booth. As that puck's played ahead for McCaskill, just a little too far, and Fortino is able to knock it away. McCaskill again. Looking for Anderson. The Markham defense is able to get a stick in, and a nice heads-up play there from Ella Matucci to get the puck away from the front of goal. Webster tried to find Stacy. It landed behind her off the boards, and she just wasn't able to stay on side, as the faceoff will come just outside of the Thunder zone.
And I can see that being quite a dynamic duo throughout the rest of the season, Webster and Stacy, as Webster was looking at Stacy the entire way down the ice there, but looks like we're getting a goalie switch here, as we'll have Lauren Dahm come in for the Blades as she's warming up.
And she won't have much time to warm up at all. The linesman immediately drops the puck, so Dahm checks into the game for Worcester. Dahm took the brunt of the heavy abuse that Worcester took last season. Just the one win, as we mentioned, a 391 goals against average and a 907 save percentage in just under 1,500 minutes played last year for the Blades.
Yep, but she made more saves than any other goaltender in the CWHL. Mind you, she faced more shots as well, so expect to see another good season for Lauren Dom for the Blades netminder.
Hard into the boards is Myers. She pops back up to her feet as Turner skates it back into the zone. Turner makes a move. She keeps on the left-hand side. Blocked by Matucci. Another fantastic defensive play from the Fruitvale, British Columbia native. Another lead pass ahead for Nicole Brown, and Worcester wins the race as Megan Sperling gets first to the puck on that hybrid icing call. Mentioned Ella Matucci. She actually took a lot of time away from the game of hockey before popping back in with the Markham Thunder. A multi-sport athlete, represented Canada at the Pan Am Games in baseball, where she won a silver medal. She actually threw a no-hitter in high school on an all-boys team, so a very fantastic athlete, both on the ice and on the diamond, Ella Matucci.
And you're starting to see that a lot more in professional athletes, especially in the CWHL. You look at a girl, pardon me, sorry, the Brown chips it in for the Thunder there, but the CWHL athletes really do have a long off-season and have started to pick up CrossFit, the upcoming sport in fitness.
And a lot of fitness trainers and nutrition and science majors on many teams in the CWHL. They know the importance of taking care of their bodies.
Absolutely, and a lot of them are teachers as well. If you look at a girl like Shannon Molson on the Toronto Fury, she is a teacher, hockey coach, and professional athlete. Not too many people can put that on their resume, that's for sure.
She certainly wears a lot of hats as Markham comes ahead. Nearly a 3-on-2, but that pass to Jennifer Costa just a little bit too high. Papachi now along the right half wall. Keeps on the backhand, tries to center. Takes the deflection, and Jones cycles it back behind the net. Worcester tries to clear, and they send it out of their zone. And Markham is pleading for a delay of game penalty as that puck left the zone and went over the glass, as the officials will converge and talk about what they just saw.
And it looks like the face-off's going to be in the Blade zone, as we have Christina Brown
was skating dangerously close to the penalty box, but after consultation, they'll say it was either. To be quite frank with you, Liam, I'm not sure what the justification was. That's a penalty if she flips it out of her own zone and over the glass, as the officials still talk about it.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't see the puck get deflected out there. Christina Brown might have just gotten away with the penalty there, as we see the officials going over and talking to the Blades head coach.
If anyone's going to want an explanation on this one.
We have Aaron Kickham going to the penalty box, it looks like, to serve that delay of game.
Indeed get the call right for delay of game.
Aaron Kickham, one of 3 appointed captains for this Worcester Blades team, as we get to see the Thunder go back on the power play here at the Thornhill Community Center.
Bozek has it at the point. Worked around and back up to Bozek. Bozek unleashes a slap shot just wide of the cage. The Rock down low, battling for it along the boards. Gets it right back. She takes a hit, and the Markham bench erupts looking for a boarding or checking from behind call as the official tumbles to the ice. I'm sure Coach Jackson's going to want to have a word with the officials about that one at the intermission. But Markham continues on their power play. Minute 15 to go, Bozek. She slides it over for Rattray into the skates, but she kicks it to her stick, puts a wrist shot on goal, and Dom tested for the first real time tonight, and she comes up big on that one.
And the Thunder really have a nice, calm, controlled power play unit. They really make sure they take their time and make the smart play and the right pass, rather. We saw a give and go there that led to almost a goal scored.
And as expected, sorry to cut you off, Liam, Jim Jackson, the head coach of the Thunder, having a few words with the officials. They repeatedly said no, no, no. But clearly he's trying to stick up for his teammates, as that was a scary hit into the boards.
Absolutely. I'm sure he also wants to see how his team fares on a 5-on-3 advantage as well.
Stacy picks it up along the left side. Dumps it down. Gets it right back behind the goal line. Puck bounces to the center, and Dom had to be sharp. He's able to turn that one away.
And she's come in and really done well so far, especially coming in halfway through the game. I'm not too sure why the goaltender change happened there, but she's been stellar so far in her short-lived game, or minutes rather, in this game.
And Fuji Magari still on the bench directly underneath the broadcast booth, so clearly it's not an injury situation. But it was certainly interesting, and she came out right near the halfway mark, which is what you typically see in the preseason game, but rarely in a season opener. Barbera along the boards. Goes to Jones. Jones has Fortino and Barbera. Instead goes down low. And the puck is skipped across. That was Nicole Costa trying to find an open teammate, but there were none available, and Worcester's able to clear and get a change. Barbera to start the rush for the Thunder. She leaves it for Fortino. Fortino goes ahead to Stacy. Stacy with speed down the left side, cuts and centers the puck looking for a teammate. Wasn't able to find anyone in the slot as the power play begins to tick down. Just 5 seconds to go and Worcester's able to clear, and that will all but do it. But the danger's not quite over yet for Worcester's. Barbera keeps it in. She goes down low, spin around, backhand between the legs, loose puck. And somehow Lauren Dahm keeps that out. But what a fantastic creative move from the Thunder. Nearly made it 4-0, and it's all smiles as they head back to the bench.
Absolutely, and what a nifty move there by Jess Jones, trying to go in between the legs. We've seen that more and more throughout hockey in the recent years, and it is a tool that a lot of people have in their back pocket if needed in areas like that where you're tight around the net.
And Jones had the entire top left side of the net, as you just saw on the replay. Just quite couldn't raise it high enough, but what a fantastic play, a heads-up play in the moment, too, to make that opportunity, which looked like not much, and turn into a dangerous scoring chance. So we're back to 5-on-5 as we're under 6 minutes to play in the second period. Battle along the boards. Worcester in control, but it's taken away at least momentarily. And a high stick as the referee had to be alert. Put her hands up to cover her face down there in the corner. Rock plays it ahead for McParland. She was looking for Webster, but just a little bit too high. And Bozak's able to take it right back. Bozak goes to the backhand. Bozak tries to center, loose puck in the slot, and it's blocked by the Blades. A few fantastic efforts from Erin Kickham, the captain, sacrificing her body to keep the puck away from goal. Howe gets it in the trapper, but immediately plays it for Fortino. Fortino plays it ahead to McParland. McParland cuts to the center of the ice. On the forehand through 4 Blades defenders, able to get a shot away. And the Thunder forecheck keeps it back in the zone. That shot is blocked. 2-on-1 for the Thunder. But Worcester flexes their defensive muscle, showing a bit of resolve here late in the second period. And that's going to be Courtney Turner getting a call for cross-checking.
And again, that's her second penalty of the game as she goes to the penalty box for cross-checking. Courtney Turner, a valuable player to this Blades roster, and she can't be spending too much time in the penalty box. The 2017 first overall pick will sit for 2 minutes as we have the top power play line for the Markham Thunder out there right now.
Already the 4th power play opportunity for Markham so far tonight. Last season they were second in the league in power play opportunities, as that shot on goal is stopped initially by Dom, but it falls back to the Thunder. Bozek plays it over to LaRock. Rock returns to the center. She goes for Rattray. One time pass to Bozek and right into the trapper of Lauren Dom.
And what a fantastic job Bozak's been doing tonight at getting pucks through to the net. It makes it so much easier for players to go pick up a rebound. And that is something that I know head coach Jim Jackson definitely appreciates from his D-line on the power play.
Bozek keeps, returns it to Rattray. Rattray on her off wing, skates to the center. Let's go, a slap shot wide of the post. Bozek has a couple options. Finally decides on Bach. Gets it right back at the point. Bozek fakes a slap shot, finds Bach again. Working the puck down low, backhand on goal, loose in front. Boston, I should say, the Blades, excuse me, that Boston-Worcester thing, I've been pretty good so far tonight, but they're able to clear the zone. LaRock has to skate backwards. Initially blocked by a very tired Shannon Hickey, who gets off for a change as Markham comes back down the ice. LaRocque on the backhand, tries to get to the middle, but it's poked away. It's Lauren Williams on the poke as Worcester tries to clear the zone. Flipped down the ice by Stathopoulos. Just over 30 seconds to go on this fourth power play of the night for the Markham Thunder. One of tonight's goal scorers, Laura Stacey, gets the puck. Toe drag, high wrist shot. Picked off out of the air by Dom.
Countless amount of chances for this Thunder team on the fourth power play this night for them. Again, Laura Stacey, such a powerful player, leading the offense on that last rush as they will set up for one more opportunity here.
Face off to Dom's right. As the far side official waves out Morgan Turner for nothing that she did, but rather an infraction from the winger. And that allows Markham to have a mismatch at the dot, and they win the face-off. Fortino goes over for Barbera, back to Fortino. Pass over to Stacey, loses it in her feet, but is able to get it back to Barbera. Backhand along the boards. In the corner now, and Worcester tries to clear, but Barbera's there to keep it in. Laura Stacey finds an open teammate cutting to the front of the net as Courtney Turner returns to the ice for Worcester, back to even strength with 2.5 to play in the second period. Fortino goes off the boards and behind the net, able to connect with Jones. And now Stacey's there to pick up the loose puck. Stacey skates it back to the point. Falls to her feet but gets right back up and able to flip it down to Jones. Jones centering, pass for Fortino. Off the stick and off the post. A fantastic opportunity for Fortino, and Markham continues to show their passing prowess. Costa nearly gets in all alone, but Brown's there to break up that chance, and she skates it in herself. Cutting to the middle, shot on goal, high and wide. McCaskill tries to pick up the loose puck in the slot, heads to the side of the net. Batted down off the boards, but right to the stick of Jenna McParland, and the Thunder come away on a 3-on-2. McParland again, shot on goal, looking for Costa. Just a little bit too far in front of her stick. Costa along the boards. Picked up by McParland. She goes back to the point. Simmons, loses it for a minute, but able to keep it in. McParland kicks it back to her stick, goes over for Webster. Webster on the back end, centers the puck loose, and Brown takes it back out. She goes across the ice for Simmons. Simmons shot on goal. Deflected in the corner, and Worcester finally able to clear as we are under 1 minute to play here in the second, and it has been all Markham so far tonight as Brown's backhand pass is broken up but picked up by McParland. She throws a shot on goal that takes a deflection, and Worcester tries to clear, but again, the Markham attack is a little over-aggressive on that play as Webster is going to go to the box for 2 minutes. She gets called for hooking. Working desperately trying to keep that play alive, but after a very long shift, she just couldn't keep the feet moving. Got her stick up in a blades forward, and that's going to have her sit for 2 minutes, and that might stretch into the third period if Worcester's unable to convert on this power play opportunity. Their fourth power play of the night, 0 for 3 so far. Not many chances. It's been a very strong defensive effort tonight and offensive effort. Really just a strong performance from Markham so far through 40 minutes. 30 seconds to play. Kept in by the Blades, at least for a moment. There's another strong forecheck. Woods taking a bit of a shot to the head as King works the puck down, trying to kill some time and wind this period down. Caitlin Sperling sends it back to Williams. Sperling didn't know that puck was coming back her way. She skated out of the zone, and Greaves has to come in and clean things up as the second period winds down. It's been all Markham so far. They lead this thing 3-0. Erica Howe hasn't been tested very often tonight, but when she has been very strong. as the two teams head to their respective dressing rooms. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind all of our viewers that you can get social with the CWHL by following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the CWHL to have your say and join the discussion. My name is Adam Jenkins, high above center ice, as we wait for Liam Rowe to get set for an interview with a Worcester Blades player. We'll see who he has selected for this one as he gets the finishing touches, and will be the captain, Erin Kickham, and she's joined by Liam. Liam?
Here with Erin Kickham, the captain of the Worcester Blades. Erin, the team has a new look this year. How humbled are you to be able to be a leader on this new team?
Extremely humbled. I mean, new logo, new location this year, and I think hopefully a new fresh start. Just really excited to be a leader of this team along with many of the other girls, and really excited for a good year.
Now, the Blades had multiple opportunities on the power play in that second period there, but couldn't capitalize. What do you guys have to do in order to put a point up on board? You're down 3-0 going into the third here.
Yeah, I think we need to start bearing down on some of those chances and some of those rebounds. These games are going to be close, and obviously we need to put some in the net for a win and hopefully get some more chances, power play or not, to get some in the third here.
Now, the Thunder really aren't giving you many opportunities and time with the puck. What is it going to take to be able to get by this defense and generate some offense moving forward into the third?
Yeah, I think it's about doing the small things, winning little battles, getting shots on goal, and coming together in the third, bury some of those chances, like I said.
There you have it. Thank you so much for joining us, Erin. Good luck in the third period. You're up next, more CWHL Live Hockey. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the start of the 2018-2019 Canadian Women's Hockey League season. Here at the CWHL, we are launching the season with a renewed energy, a united vision, and a commitment to excellence. Over the past 11 years, we've seen incredible talent and passion come across our league, and this year promises to be no different. The caliber of players and depth of our talent pool is unlike anything we've seen before. We have several recent Olympians joining our teams across the nation, and our draft pool was stronger than ever. This season, our vision is to continue to grow the sport of women's hockey. We want fans to see our players like never before, as strong, confident, and empowered athletes who make a difference through their passion for the game. We look forward to building our league's presence in our hockey communities and increase our levels of fan engagement. We've made strategic decisions to reduce our league to 6 teams to provide a more focused, energized game of hockey, while maintaining the strong relationship with our Chinese partners. The recent relocation of the Boston Blades to Worcester is exciting for the league, the city of Worcester, and our players. We are thrilled to be a part of a growing hockey community and look forward to our future in Worcester. This year, we are thrilled to announce our first ever CWHL Hockey Weekend on Sportsnet's national broadcast. And we look forward to hosting the All-Star Game in Toronto, which will feature the top talent in the league. As the Markham Thunder defend their Clarkson Cup championship, we are on course to witness another contentious battle for the Clarkson Cup. At the Canadian Women's Hockey League, we pride ourselves in the excitement and product we put on the ice, and are so proud of the communities we have behind us. Thank you for your continuous support of the CWHL, and we look forward to seeing you at more games this season.
richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Just about set for the third period here from the Thornhill Community Centre in Markham, Ontario, where the hometown Markham Thunder are off to a fantastic start to their 2018-19 campaign. 3-0 their score over the Worcester Blades after 2 periods of play. It's Adam Jenkins and Liam Rowe up here in the broadcast booth with you. And the Worcester Blades, Liam, staring down a 3-0 hole. And Markham's done a fantastic job at shutting them down. You had the chance to speak with the Worcester captain heading into the intermission. She said they got to do the little things right. What exactly does that mean for Worcester in a game like this?
You know what? I think it just goes back to the simplicities in hockey and making clean, crisp passes, smart plays, just really dumbing it down and making sure that you're playing a good system hockey and generating shots. That's the most important thing. You're not going to score if you're not shooting, but unfortunately this Markham defense thinks otherwise and isn't allowing a whole lot of that. So like Aaron said, they really just got to come out and push hard in this third and hope for the best.
Elsewhere around the CWHL, 2 other games in action tonight. Both have already come to a close. It's Montreal over Calgary 2-1. Sarah Lafleur scoring with just over 6 minutes to play to give Les Canadiens the win in their home opener. And the other home opener tonight, it was the Toronto Furies hosting the newly merged Shenzhen franchise. And they fell 5-1, did the Furies. But they'll be right back on the ice tomorrow at the MasterCard Center. Rink 1 if you're able to make it. If you're in the Toronto area, If not, we'll have the stream, Liam and I, tomorrow. That's a 1 o'clock start for Game 2 between Shenzhen and Toronto. On the ice here tonight, Liam, it's been all Markham so far. Laura Stacey with a goal and an assist, but great defensive play, as we mentioned, helping to keep this score scoreless for Worcester. But Laura Fortino's had a very good game as well. 2 assists, and she's really just been a rock on defense.
Oh, yeah, Laura Fortino, 4th season in the league. She's an Olympian, 3-time All-Star. Just fantastic. She knows what she can do, and she brings a lot to the table. And you know what? Everyone knows it. The team has complete faith in her. She does a fantastic job at making a nice, clean pass out of the defensive zone. And she can rush the puck too. She makes good, smart plays, and she's really just a well-rounded, sound defenseman. And she really complements the Thunder blue line there.
Now, midway through the second period, we saw Lauren Dom come into the game for Mariah Fujimagari. What did you think of her performance on a cold start?
Yeah, like you said it right there. She came in cold. She didn't get much warm-up, and she actually was quite impressive. Mind you, she's really used to being peppered with shots, as we all know. Last year she saw quite a bit, but she was quite impressive, and I think if she stands her ground and the Blades can start generating some offense here, they might have a shot at getting back into the game. But you know what? It all starts right off the first face-off, and you know what? The Blades do have the firepower of getting back into it. We just need to see a little bit more from them, and I guarantee you Paul Kennedy's telling them that right now in the dressing room.
26-16 are the shots after 2 periods in favor of the Markham Thunder. And we mentioned Lauren Dom. She has a fantastic story. If you're new to the league, it's really one for the ages. She spent 6 years away from hockey altogether. Shouldn't say completely altogether. She says she played in some tournaments here, there, and some pickups in beer league, but certainly not professional hockey. And she comes back for the Blades, and she, despite a bit of a lackluster defense, a team in transition, she was their backbone, and she was clearly peppered with shots. And I think in a game like this, that actually helps because she knows what to expect, and she just has to take care of her own thing and hope for some offense from her teammates.
Absolutely, and you know what? Even though she's only been in the league for a few short seasons, she is still a veteran. She's one of the older women on this team, and she does bring a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and especially for a young Blades team, she is just a really good person to have in the dressing room. And especially when you're down 3-0 going into the third in the first game of the regular season, you need people like that in the dressing room to come in and, you know what, calm the jitters and just go out there and play hockey.
And she really helped lay the building blocks for the solid foundation that turned into the Clarkson Golden Knights dynasty in the NCAA. She graduated there in 2011, and she was first in the NCAA as a freshman with a 103 goals against average, a fantastic start to her career. She knows a thing or two about stopping pucks, and she's been good. 20 career shutouts as well at Clarkson.
And you know what, on the other end, look at Erica Howe, another Clarkson graduate. That's just a fantastic program they have going on there. Back-to-back national championships, and we see a lot of women coming out of Clarkson coming to play in this league. And you know what, 2 prime examples as both the netminders are graduates from that school.
3 national championships for the Clarkson Golden Knights, playing the very highly competitive ECAC conference out of Potsdam, New York. And they certainly churn out some fantastic alumni. Both men and women go on to do some fantastic things in professional hockey. And really, if you're Markham, this is the picture-perfect start to your season. You have the crowd behind you. You have a fantastic pregame ceremony where the banner was raised to the rafters. And you're leading 3-0 heading into the third period. Really, you're exactly where you want to be, other than that penalty, which has them in the box for a minute 18 to start this period.
Absolutely. You just hit the nail on the head there. Picture-perfect ending if they can close this out and get a shutout. knock on wood for Erica Howe. But you got the home crowd here. You really can't say much more about it. The Thunder are completely dominating this game, and if they continue to do that, they will pull out a substantial victory here in the opening night of the CWHL regular season.
That's right, Lehman. Game 2 of this home and home for the Markham Thunder goes tomorrow at 12:30 back here at the Thornhill Community Center. Just about set to go here for the third period. And a early power play goal for Worcester would do wonders for their comeback aspirations.
Absolutely, and like I said, it's just jumping right off the gate here. You got to win the draw. Turner's done a fantastic job. Expect to see her be a solid go-to girl on this PP here as we are getting set for the opening face-off here.
All right, 20 minutes to hang on for the win if you're Markham, or 20 minutes to find 3 goals for Worcester as the puck is dropped and we are back underway here in Thornhill. D-to-D pass for the Blades to start things off. It's Taryn Harris bringing things along. The Blades turn it over, and Markham able to send it down the length of the ice. That was Ella Matucci getting a stick on that one. Morgan Turner skates it out, goes off the boards looking for Greaves. Can't connect though, and a dangerous opportunity for the Thunder. Just couldn't get that breakout pass ahead.
Yeah, again, that's just a Thunder defense doing their job there and not letting the Blades get over the blue line, and that's so crucial on the penalty kill.
Costa first to it. Wins the race to the puck, but good defense from Worcester, and it creates a chance for them as that's played ahead to Morgan Turner. Turner to Greaves. Greaves one more for the other Turner, just wide of the cage. And a good opportunity for Worcester. Some offense out of the gates here in the third as Jamie Lee Rattray skates up, takes it to the back end. She's taken down hard, and she crashes into Lauren Dom.
And that was just some great speed we saw by Rattray there, the 2017-2018 Jana Hefford Trophy winner for the most valuable player in the CWHL regular season, as we see Rattray come down the wing here and drive the net as she gets taken down by the Worcester Blades defender.
And as she got to her feet, she looked right at the refs and said, how is that not a penalty? And I think she had a pretty good case.
Absolutely, I don't see why not. And here she goes again on the attack.
Just 10 seconds remaining in that penalty to the Markham Thunder as Webster gets set to come out of the box. Back to even strength, but here come the Blades. Chelsea Goldberg skates it in. Goes to the middle of the ice, but it's deflected into the corner. But Goldberg is there to pick it right back up. McCaskill now tries to work it around Victoria Bach. She's unable to, and back comes Bach and Rattray. Rattray on the left-hand side, centers it for LaRock. Shot on goal, stopped by Dom. Bozek sends it back behind the net, right to Bach. She picks it up. Thought about leaving it for Rattray. Gets it right back herself, and she's pinned along the boards by Sperling. Race to the puck, won by Rattray. She was looking to find Bozek at the point, but just doesn't get enough on it, and back come the Blades. Nicole Anderson has to reset to Aaron Hall before going off for a change. As that puck is bounced off the boards, icing is waved off, and it's picked up by Rapace. Rapace spins and is able to find Kristen Richards, who skates behind the net and goes right back to Rapace. Markham desperately trying to work it out of the zone, but it's kept in by Worcester. Courtney Turner unable to create a scoring chance, but it stays with the Blades. Behind the net now, Barbera. She stops up and turns it over. Turner on the backhand. Gets to the top of the circle, puts a shot on goal wide of the cage. And first to it is Brown. Worked along the boards. Turner goes in. Gets it back to the point. That shot also wide of the cage. Sent back for Myers. Myers centers the puck loose for a moment, but Howe is there to smother it up.
And that was some good controlling for the Blades there. They really had the Thunder hemmed in their own end there. And you know what? We talked about how important it was for the Blades to get that opening goal on the power play there. But it was equally as important for the Thunder to kill that penalty. And they did a wonderful job doing that. holding them off to still have the lead of 3-0 here early on in the third.
Forfar wins that face-off. And it's sent along the boards and picked up by Fortino. Tries to play it ahead for Woods, just a little too far, but King is there to give chase. Then forces the turnover. Back off the boards, picked up by Fortino. Shot on goal. Rebound, and she scores! Ailish Forfar with an absolute missile. And the Thunder are up by 4.
What a beautiful goal there by Forfar.
And all smiles as she heads back to the bench with her first career goal.
That's it. Beautiful shot on the net by Fortino there, who leaves a juicy rebound for Forfar, who just pots it on an open net there, top shelf.
Great heads-up play to identify the rebound, skate in, and just perfect puck placement. So both of the Thunder's pre-draft signees, Victoria Bach and Ailish Forfar, on the score sheet, making an impact in their CWHL debuts.
And if you're Lauren Dom there, nothing you can do about that. Down and out, top shelf, beautiful play.
The Thunder looking for more as that puck's worked back behind the net once again for Fortino, who continues to have a fantastic game, but she turns it over there. That was Megan Sperling who came in with some open ice. But the Thunder D negates the attack. Forfar back on the ice, flips it off the glass. She takes a high hit, and there's a delayed penalty on the ice.
And that'll be going to Casey Stathopoulos.
One-on-one, Taylor Woods skates around the right-hand side, but keeps it. And that allows the sixth skater to get on the ice for Markham as they have the delayed penalty. Simmons throws a shot on goal, but it's picked up by Dom. And the high sticking penalty has been assessed to Casey Stathopoulos. Just not a great night for Worcester so far.
No,
every time they
not.
inch closer to momentum, they find themselves back in the box.
Yeah, and I don't understand why she take that penalty. The puck was nowhere near her. It's really silly. You know what? Your team's down 4-0. I know emotions get the best of some people sometimes, but you know what? Taking a 2-minute penalty like that this late in the game really doesn't help your squad have any chance of coming back. And we have Fortino talking to the ref.
And a brief break in the action as Dania Simmons is honored for her new CWHL record that we mentioned at the top of the show. Her 149th consecutive regular season game, and a much-deserved ovation.
Yeah, unbelievable as you see her there smiling and her teammates cheering. And you know what? We even have some Blades players cheering there as well as the fans. What a wonderful night for her, and I'm sure her friends and family are extremely proud of her.
Well, it's an Iron Woman streak for the ages. 149 consecutive games.
Remarkable.
In the regular season in CWHL. Considering seasons are typically under 30 games, that says a lot about the longevity of her career. This is her 7th season, and she spent all 7 years with the Thunder. And Markham wins that face-off. Stacy again goes backdoor, cross-ice pass, and it's finished off by Jones, her second of the night. And the Thunder continue to pile on the Blades. A fantastic night all over the ice for the Markham Thunder. They're up 5-0.
Unbelievable play by Fortino there. Good heads-up play by Laura Stacy. It's almost as if they've practiced this before. I'm so amazed at how well that went as Jess Jones pots her second of the game, and Laura Stacy gets her 3rd point with 1 goal and 2 assists as they extend the lead to 5-0.
And much like Forfar's shot just a few minutes ago, not a thing Dom can do. A perfect cross-ice feed and a equally impressive shot to find the back of the net. 5-0 for the Thunder with 15.5 to play here in the third.
And the Thunder aren't sitting back at all. They are really just pressing this Blades decor and giving them no time and space with the puck.
Graves stick handles through the zone, but she drags it back behind the blue line before re-entering, so that is offside.
There's Graves shaking her head, but unfortunately there's nothing you can do about that. The Thunder are just so good at locking down their blue line and eliminating chances for the Blades to enter the zone.
Once again, the officials having some words with the wingers along the boards for encroaching too close to the dot.
And you know, it's important to get that stuff out of the way early on in the season. We see in other pro leagues where the calls halfway through the season are, you don't really know what's a call and what's not a call, but it's good that these officials are doing their job and getting that stuff out of the way early on.
Rattray tries to keep the play alive, but she's offside as Bach skated the puck in.
Yeah, Kristen Bach, the first goal scorer for the Thunder, the third overall pick in the 2018 CWHL draft, making an immediate impact in her first pro game.
The 2017 CWHL Rookie of the Year was Laura Stacey, and if she keeps playing this way, Victoria Bach or Eilish Forfar both have an opportunity to put their name in that conversation with two fantastic opening games from the two rookies on this green roster.
Absolutely, and you don't know how rookies are going to do coming into the CWHL, as it can be quite the jump moving up, as we have a delayed penalty coming here as Laura Stacey was hauled down there.
You can see the ice adorning the back of Laura Stacey's jersey.
And Harris just went right to the box. She knew that she was getting a penalty there as she sits for two. And we get to see this dominant Thunder power play go back at it.
So what does Markham have in store for us on their fifth power play opportunity of the night? Jim Jackson gets the defense woman on the ice that he wants, and the Thunder win the draw. Matucci back to Fortino. She's done pretty much everything but get a goal. Can she get one on this power play? Back to Matucci. That wrist shot takes a couple deflections. McParland swings at it. Can't connect initially, but she gets the puck right back. Cutting to the center of the ice, McParland. A couple nice moves. Wrist shot is steered away in front by Aaron Kickham. Stacey flips it back for McParland, and the Blades are able to clear. That's Aaron Kickham sending it down the length of the ice as that PK unit gets a change.
I've been super impressed with the way Matucci's been super poised on this power play, and I can see why Jim Jackson really is comfortable with having her out on this top line.
There's the speed of Stacey circling around, centers it in front, and nearly getting her second of the night was Fortino. That would have been her first of the night. A great heads-up play to read the offense. And if you can get anywhere in the range of Laura Stacey, she's going to find your stick.
Yep, she is just that good. And have some more battling on the boards there.
Forfar wins it back before getting taken down. She pops back up to her feet. Work down low for the Thunder. Centering pass in front. Backhand is saved by Dom. Worcester can't clear. Over to King. She skates it in, wrist shot. High wrister is picked up by Dom for the whistle.
And that's what the Blades needed there. They really needed the stoppage of play, and they really needed time to take a break. And you know what? Get a new line out there and kind of settle down, as the Thunder are really starting to take over there, and they just missed a goal. As again, we saw Laura Stacey putting in work and doing what she does so well and generating scoring opportunities for this Thunder squad.
Forfar wins another face-off. She's been very good at the dot so far tonight. That allows Barbera to set up. Looking for Rapace, just a little bit too far in front of the stick, but Forfar is right there to pick it back up. Battling along the boards, now on the stick of King. King tries to play it back for Forfar, but just a little too close to receive that pass. More forecheck applied by Markham. King leaves it for Rapace. Shot is blocked. King trying to get the loose puck, but just goes in front of her stick as the power play winds down for the Thunder. Out of the box comes Taryn Harris, and we're back to even strength. No goals on that power play, but if you're any other coach around the league, you're watching the film tonight and you're going, I do not want to face that Markham Thunder power play.
Yeah, absolutely. No goals at all, but they completely controlled the play there and had several opportunities.
12 minutes to play here in the third. Markham up 5-0 over the Worcester Blades, the freshly relocated Worcester Blades.
And again, Lauren Dahm just opting to hold the puck there for another face-off in her own zone.
She's been a rock so far. Two of the goals she's conceded, nothing she can do about it. She's been steady, and that's what Worcester needs in a game like this. The last thing you want is to let it get too far out of your control, and the last thing you want is to lose by double digits in your opener. So Dahm has been very impressive for Worcester tonight.
And we'll have to see who starts tomorrow.
The third goaltender on the roster for the Blades is Jessica Convery, a rookie out of Minnesota Duluth. Played 3 seasons at Mercyhurst before finishing off at Minnesota Duluth. as Bozek skates the puck up along the right-hand side. Keeps it herself, circling the net. Loses it for a minute, but gets it right back and has Larocque at the point. Jocelyn Larocque. Over for Brown. Back up for Larocque at the point. Shot on goal, tipped by Brown. But a nice adjustment from Dunn to keep the puck out of the net. Larocque softly off the boards. Now worked over. Right to the stick of Costa. She goes to Matucci. Back behind the net for Jones, and Costa's going to be there to pick it up. Nice move to get some space before finding Matucci. She throws a shot on goal. Pad save, and cleared in front by the Worcester defense.
Again, that's just a fabulous job by the Thunder D doing what they do best, and that's getting shots through and creating rebounds for those forwards to pick up.
Costa flip pass over to her teammate. Centering pass for Jones, nearly the hat trick. Just inches wide of the left post. Richards applies the forecheck. Worcester gets out of the zone. It's Greaves, met by Bach. And sent back behind the halfway line as the forecheck continues for Markham. Megan Turner gets the puck knocked off her stick. Atre goes over to Matucci. High pass ahead for Bach. Too high and too hard, and that will go down for icing.
This has just been a complete domination for the Markham Thunder here in the third period. Again, giving zero time and space for this Blades lineup to do anything in the O-zone for them, and leaving Erica Howell just down the other end wondering what to do. But here we have a face-off in the Thunder zone. And it's a Blades win, which they've done quite well throughout the night.
McCaskill behind that tries to center. Pushed aside. And picked up by Markham. As we approach the 10-minute mark, Victoria Bach skating up the ice. We know what she can do with her hands. A magician with the puck as it's almost glued to her tape. Loses it there, and back comes McCaskill. Stacy, one-touch pass. Barbera leaves it for Bach. And a nice defensive stand by Harris there to break up the offensive chance. Pass over to Nicole Anderson. On the backhand, she flips one towards Howe. And Erica Howe easily smothers that one up.
And the puck movement by the Thunder tonight has just been remarkable. And you can really hear the players out there calling for it. These ladies, shall I say, are doing a good job of keeping their heads up and moving the puck extremely well, which is leading to all the offensive capabilities they've had this far tonight. As again, we have another face-off in the...
Looks like Caitlin Sperling snuck in again from the right-hand side. So Myers comes in to take the draw, and then Turner's told to get back outside the circle. Won by Webster. Apache throws it behind the net, but she's met by the Worcester forecheck, and it's played ahead to Stacy. Stacy again, continuing to put on a passing clinic to McParlin, tried to poke it ahead. She loses it, but it stays with Markham. Apache at the point. Floats one back for Stacy, kicks it, plays it to McParland. Barbera tapping her stick frantically to try to get her attention, just not able to find her in time as that shot on goal hits off the foot of Stacy, but she cycles it back around for McParland. McParland taken down along the boards, no call on the play. Puck is still loose, centering attempt, but no Thunder forwards there in the slot as Sperling is able to get rid of that one easily. Stacy behind the net, leaves it for Apache. Gina Apache starts the offense off for the Thunder. McParland loses it for a minute, still loose, but Barbera's there to recover for Markham. Stathopoulos forces the turnover, but unable to retain possession. And here comes Webster. Thought about dumping it, keeps it instead. Has some options now. Centers it looking for King, but it's off a Blades skate in front. King along the boards. She pins Brown to the boards. And here comes Giannino. Loses it to Larocque, and Larocque puts it out of play, and that'll bring us to a whistle.
And one thing the Thunder have done extremely well in this third period is stay disciplined. They're doing a fantastic job at playing Markham Thunder hockey. They're not selfish. They're not playing sloppy. They're really just playing a really sound hockey game. And it shows on the scoreboard, 5-0 with 8 minutes to go on the third period here.
Worcester looks to break out of the zone. And they're going to have a very short memory after this game to reset and get prepared for tomorrow afternoon. It's not a long turnaround. And there are a lot of tired legs already, even though this is the first game of the season, as Markham is off to the box for 2 minutes. And a reminder that you can connect with the CWHL online. Follow at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to join the conversation.
And Taylor Woods is going off for 2 minutes there, as we'll get to see this Blades power play unit come out and hopefully bury one before the game is up, as you don't want to go scoreless in the season opener, especially on the road and heading into tomorrow's matchup.
Worcester wins the draw. Harris finds Williams. Snapshot into the corner. Harris again at the right point. Shot on goal picked up by Howe.
It's great vision by Howe there. Good job at locating that puck and staying square with it. She's just been fantastic all throughout the night. And you know what? Her teammates have complete confidence in her that she can get the job done.
Costa wins that draw. Markham still quite clear on the initial attempt, but there to clean it up was Costa. Worcester goes D to D, ahead to Turner. Porcino breaks up that rush. Just a pair of shots registered on goal. A quiet night for Howe as Markham gets another shot. Rebound into the back of the net, Nicole Brown. And poor Lauren Dahm has been left on an island. But Brown, another heads-up play, gets the rebound and deposits it to the back of the net.
And that's the second shorthanded goal for this Thunder lineup tonight, as Nicole Brown did a fantastic job driving the net here. We see a good read, good look, a nice beautiful shot, perfectly placed for a nice rebound for Nicole Brown to come in and bury it in an open cage.
And a defensive breakdown from Worcester with the man advantage. Both defenders playing the puck, leaving Brown wide open. And Dom almost made a miraculous diving save. But Brown's able to find the back of the net. And that brings us to 6-0 here at the Thornhill Community Center. Once again, it's Adam Jenkins up in the booth with you, pleased to help you open the 2018-19 season. And Mr. Liam Rowe, an absolute clinic so far by Markham through the first 55 minutes of play.
And did you really expect nothing less? They have a lot of returning players from last year, and they really haven't missed a beat.
And I think what's important to stress for Worcester is they have 10 rookies, as we mentioned, 11 new players, nearly half the roster. So you're going to expect some growing pains. They still have to gel together, learn how to play together, learn how to skate together.
Absolutely, that takes time. A lot of these girls are coming out of NCAA hockey, and it takes time to learn a new system. And although some of these women have played with each other before, it's a new environment. It's a completely different game, a lot faster, a lot more skilled. So give it some time, and you know what? We might see this Blades team turn it around and have a more successful season than we've seen in the last few years.
Barbera now skating through 5 Blades defenders as their teammates get off for a change. As the Blades go D to D. Barbera looking to get a change of her own, but she's stuck on the ice as Meyer's shot is blocked by Bozek. First shot saved by Howe. She keeps it alive, and Bozek goes around the boards. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. 5:20 to play in the third period. Poked away by Woods. She's in all alone. Taylor Woods, forehand, backhand. What a save by Lauren Dahm, denying Woods on the breakaway.
Yeah, that was just some breakaway speed there by Taylor Woods, who had a hard tumble going into the boards after that. But you see her, she's got a smile on her face, and she's fine skating back to the bench. But she knows she missed a good scoring opportunity there, and she's not going to forgive herself for that one. But again, stellar performance from Lauren Dom here, who we see again, a stellar save.
Great patience from Dom. Gets down into the splits and takes away the bottom portion of the net. The veteran Dom really showing her resolve so far tonight. She's going to play until the final buzzer sounds as Bozek spins around and gets the puck right back. Bozek throws a shot on goal. That one goes off the stick of Dom and into the mesh. So the face-off will stay in the Worcester end.
And you know what? That's what you want from a netminder is confidence, and you know what? A short memory. And Laura Dom, you know what? She hasn't had much help tonight, but she has been really good at bouncing back, and you know what? Doing what she can to stop what she can. And you know what? She's going to be a key member of this Blades team moving forward throughout the rest of the season.
Battle for the puck along the boards. Stacy flips it back to Bozek. Bozek fakes the shot, finds Larocque. Larocque with the wrister deflected high and wide from McParland, but a fantastic scoring chance from the Thunder. McParland gets it right back, waits, shoots, and just misses again wide. Two great scoring chances there for Jenna McParland. How about a third one? Keeps it herself. Gets the puck right back. Leaves it for Bozek. Bozek can't handle it cleanly. And Lauren Williams picks it up for the Blades. Worcester trying to clear the zone. Gets through Bozek, and away comes Myers. And a delayed penalty coming to Jocelyn Larocque as the Thunder touch up. And Larocque gets the gate for holding.
Again, big power play for the Blades. We've seen it before tonight, but they really have to get one on this evening, as we have Kickham out there, the second-year captain, and we have Stathopoulos taking the face off, and it looks like we're going to have the
it's Forfar getting waved out of the zone. Becca King comes in but loses the draw. Played back to Kickham. Kickham with the shot is knocked away by Matucci. And despite being up 6-0, the Markham forecheck continues. And that's the kind of tendencies you want to see. You play as if it's a tie game all the time. And that's just great forechecking from Markham.
Yeah, there's
and
no
a
holding
fantastic
back.
game plan from Coach Jackson. They've really executed it to perfection.
Absolutely. There's no holding back from this team. They're always 100% full tilt. And it wins hockey games. As you can see, it's 6-0 right now for them. So they're doing something right.
Pass over to Sperling. Back up top for Kickham. Takes a deflection and then is cleared by Matucci. As the clock ticks back to 10 p.m. here in Markham. 6-0 for the Thunder with 3 minutes to play. Reminder that these two teams will be back in action once again tomorrow, 12:30. Although no broadcast on CWHL Live, we will instead be in Etobicoke for the Furies and Shenzhen Game 2. And the Furies will also be looking to bounce back. They fell 5-1 earlier tonight in their home opener. Pinned along the boards. Finally played free, excuse me. And a diving effort there from Hall to try and keep the puck in. But just out of her reach as Costa goes up ahead. Here come the Thunder, over to Brown. Brown cuts in, shoots, initial save from Dom. And a brilliant chance on the second effort from Costa, but she couldn't get a stick to it.
Yeah, great scoring opportunity there from Brown, who almost potted her second of the night.
Cutting to the slot was Goldberg, tapping her stick, calling for the puck. Now saves that shot as the Thunder out of the box again. Once again, a breakaway out of the box, but this time just too far for Larocque.
And smart play by Dom leaving the net there to go play that puck.
Larocque sends it down. Dom comes out to play it. And icing called, and the Thunder are told to stay on the ice. Jocelyn Larocque goes to have a word with the officials. questioning the icing call. She said she was over the red line. The two linesmen come together to discuss, and Larocque not giving them much space to deliberate. The officials come in as well to decide whether or not Markham was over the red line before sending the puck down the ice. The referee points to center ice, so they admit that it wasn't an icing call, and they'll drop the puck at center. Victoria Bach to take the face-off against McCaskill. She's had a fantastic game in her debut in the CWHL. To the surprise of very few people who followed Victoria Bach in her Boston University career. One of the all-time greats for the Terriers. Bobbled in front of the net by Bozek. So she's able to skate it around and send it ahead. That was played for Richards. She lost it, and then Bach's able to pick it up. Bach again goes between the legs, loses it into the corner, gets it back for Rattray, centering. And on the other side is Fortino. She goes down for Rattray. Rattray toe drag, high shot off the chest protector of Dom and into the mesh for the faceoff. Just over a minute to play here. A fantastic debut for the Markham Thunder, who have been in complete control since the drop of the puck. It was a power play goal that got things started from Victoria Bach. A nifty forehand backhand deke. There was nothing for Mariah Fujimagari to do about it. And you can expect to see that one in the highlights for sure. There's been a few highlight reel goals tonight for Markham. Forfar had a fantastic one herself for her first professional goal as we are under a minute to play. Worcester picks the puck up behind the net. It's Sperling now. She goes along the boards for the other Sperling on the ice, Caitlin, and a centering pass for Myers. Myers an all-alone shot denied by Howe. And the fans in the stands applauding Howe as she keeps her shutout alive with 30 seconds to play. Webster now, she has Stacy Keeps, toe drag shot on goal, and Dom is there to turn her away. 3 shutouts last season for Erica Howe, a .930 save percentage and a .218 goals against average for the two-time CWHL All-Star. She played every minute of the Clarkson Cup playoffs for the Thunder on the way to the championship. And it's been backstopping like what we've seen tonight that really launched Markham to their first title. The Blades ice the puck right away as Simmons turns on the Jets at the last second for the icing. What started out then is the fourth line for the Thunder getting rewarded for their hard work tonight, as it's Woods, Bach, and King. Woods, Forfar, and King. And Forfar, who's had a good night at the dot, loses that one. But Worcester has a bit of a miscommunication on that one as the clock winds down. Under 10 seconds to play. King gets it back. She centers it. Worcester sends it into the corner. And that will do it. The Markham Thunder dominate the home opener, 6-0 the final, as they beat the Worcester Blades. Megan Bozek makes a beeline for the game puck. You gotta wonder who's gonna get the first start tonight. There's many candidates for the Markham Thunder, as they increase their win streak over the Blades franchise to 9 games. And the Blades continue to look for their first win since January 6th as the two teams meet at center ice to shake hands. And one final reminder that you can get involved with the CWHL online. Follow at the CWHL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to join the discussion. Let us know your thoughts on what was a very exciting opening night of action in the 2018-19 CWHL season. One final reminder that CWHL Live will be back on the air tomorrow afternoon from Etobicoke, the MasterCard Center for Hockey Excellence, Rink 1, as they try to rebound after a 5-1 loss to Shenzhen. That game at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, the place to get it, the CWHL.com/watch, as the Thunder meet at center ice. And they push ahead their teammate, the Iron Woman, Dania Simmons, who just played her 194th consecutive regular season game, as the Thunder salute the fans as they leave the ice. It was a great showing tonight, no question about it. Dominant on all assets, as Simmons once again gets one final honor, passing under the sticks. Very nice salute, and you can really tell the tight-knit bond already from this Markham Thunder team. And Forfar and Bach making a fantastic first impression in their debuts. Brooke Webster, who signed from Vanke last season, played for Vanke last season, signed this season. Jess Jones back with the Thunder after spending the 2017-18 season with the Buffalo Buttes of the NWHL. She had a game to remember. Gina Rapace, Ella Matucci also making their rookie debuts tonight in the CWHL. Jess Jones, tonight's third star, as she gets the call back to the ice after her two-goal performance, Tonight's second star with 6 assists. She was in on every single Markham Thunder goal. Gets the call. And no surprise, who's getting the first star of the game tonight? The Iron Woman. One last skate through the ice. A fantastic moment as she gets a hug from the second and third stars, Fortino and Jones, respectively. They'll pose for a photo op to commemorate this fantastic achievement. Hard to believe, 149 consecutive regular season games as she embarks on her 7th season, all with the Markham Thunder, and a very nice moment as she gets well-earned recognition from the fans in the stands and her teammates as well. So climbing to the top of the standings after night one, the Markham Thunder with 6 goals for and the shutout, none against. Shenzhen starts the season in second place after their 5-1 victory over Toronto. And the Canadiens de Montréal rounded up in third. Montreal finished the season atop the standings last year before being swept by Markham in the Clarkson Cup semifinals, as Markham went on to defeat Red Star 2-1 in overtime in what was a memorable occasion. And now we'll check in downstairs with Liam Rowe.
Thank you, Adam. I'm joined by second star of tonight's matchup, Laura Fortino, who had 5 points in total. Spectacular night for yourself. What are your thoughts on the game tonight?
I think it's exciting to get the season going. I think all the girls were pretty anxious and excited to get going. So I think for our first game, there's a lot we can take from it and learn from, but we're excited for the season moving forward.
Now, a spectacular game for Erica Howe, who recorded her first shutout in the first game of the season. How confident is this team in Erica Howe's abilities?
I think we're super confident. I think coming from a defenseman and just her high caliber of play and the poise that she has in that net makes us all feel comfortable and confident as a team. So we know in big moments we can rely on her.
Now, how important is that first win of the regular season to get it out of the way early on?
I think it's huge for us. I mean, it sets the tempo and kind of the make of our team, the character we're going to have moving forward. So I'm glad we got the big win, and I'm so proud of my teammates. We played awesome tonight.
Now, you're back at it again tomorrow against the Blades as well. What do you have to do to be prepared for that matchup?
I think, like I said, there's things we're going to take from tonight and learn from moving forward. I think just kind of keeping the game simple, moving the puck, getting our feet under. I mean, it is the start of the season too, so girls are kind of getting back into it. So I think just playing a good, strong team game.
Alrighty, thank you so much for joining us here, Laura. That'll do it for us here at the Thornhill Community Center. On behalf of myself, Liam Rowe, Adam Jenkins, and the entire broadcast operation crew here, we'd like to thank you for watching CWHL Live, and you can catch us tomorrow as the Shenzhen plays the Toronto Furies at 1 p.m. at the Mastercard Center. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.